Hello, I'm Karen Elgersma at the Souk Museum, celebrating the sights and sounds of good timber. And you're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. On today's show, a professional harmonica player who uses his instrument for so much more than music. A hobbit house in the Shire of Colwood. And Cool FM's Robin and Brian join the breakdown. All that and more on Go Island. Hello, thank you so much for joining us on Go Island. I'm so happy for you. Why? Because you are in for a fabulous 30 minutes of music and entertainment, hobbits and harmonicas and saws and lumberjacks. We are here at the Souk Museum, and I am telling you, this show that you are all putting on is a one-of-a-kind, life-changing, extraordinary thing. Tell us about the name of the show and what it's all about.
Songs and Stories of the Western Logger, and it's about the life of the logger and what really built this province. And it's got the poems of Robert Swanson, and it's got a myriad of music written by the cast.
And Robert Swanson, let's just pause. Amazingly well-known poet. Tell us a little bit about him.
He's a poet, a logger poet. He actually put together a bunch of little booklets of logger poetry, but he also invented the whistles that are on trains. And so he had a whistle farm up island. And what's fascinating for us is to see we have some loggers who are in their 90s bring their sons and their grandchildren, and it's very emotional because they actually get a glimpse of what the life was like. It was a hard life, and it had a great sense of humor as well.
Unbelievable. It's going to be the Father's Day weekend out at the Edward Milne School, once again, their theater there, which is actually a really amazing theater. I've always been a huge fan of that theater. There's no bad seats in that place. And we're gonna show you a glimpse of some of the cool things you'll see if you come see the show, which of course you all will. But first, we're going to go from saws and banjos to harmonica. The harmonica, how can you not love that instrument? Well, Jen Rennett's caught up with a very well-known musician who makes the harmonica his instrument of choice. This is a story that you are going to want to watch. From harmonicas to harmonious saws, we are here in beautiful Souk, celebrating a theater extravaganza that will be happening on the Father's Day weekend. What's the name of the show?
Good Timber.
Good Timber. You have to say it like that. And it is such a unique show because not only are we playing instruments that aren't normally used as instruments like saws, but there's photos involved that are from the archives from the Royal BC Museum. Is that correct?
Yes, John Carswell has put together this background to...
Can I just pause and say I love John Carswell? He's the one who got me into TV. Just a shout out to you, John.
Go on. He is so brilliant. He has taken all of this footage. Some of it's from private collections, some of it's from the Union, WA up Island and their private collection, and he's put it together as backdrop for the play.
Okay, so I love that. Oh, this is so cool. One of the things about living out here on Vancouver Island is you never know what you might discover. In fact, our very own James Green went out to Colwood searching for Middle Earth in the Shires, and he came upon a hobbit house art studio built by a very talented stonemason. A hobbit house in Colwood. It's real. Isn't that just such an extraordinary story? Thank you, James Green, for bringing it to us, especially the way you brought it to us. Speaking of extraordinary, I have never experienced a show quite like this, Good Timber, which is really a celebration of our history, but also of our present. You know, you were a logger. You have been a logger here in British Columbia.
Yes, I logged in the early 80s in Port Renfrew.
You know, as a logger, what does it mean to you to be part of this show?
Well, as a fourth generation Vancouver Island logger, it means a whole heck of a lot to me. Of course, my dad and grandpa and great-grandpa were all loggers up in the Nanaimo area, and the show is a real celebration of the folks in the woods and how it was honest, hard work, dangerous, rewarding work, and it's just a celebration of that musically.
So we have to take a quick break, but stay with us because coming up, we have the preview of This Week on the Scene, which is always so entertaining as the arts and entertainment itself. We also have probably one of my favorite versions of the breakdown yet, and more of this really cool show. So stick around. Welcome back to Go Island. You are listening to the sounds of good timber, an amazing show that will be on the Father's Day weekend at the Edward Milne Theatre right here in Sauk, sponsored by the Sauk Museum. It is such a special show because not only does it tell the stories of really the history of how, in British Columbia, of the lumberjacks and people who worked in the forestry industry, but it really is wildly entertaining. I mean, look at this. You're playing a saw. Is that hard?
Well, not once you get used to it. It takes a little practice. I thought there's a definite trick to it, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's amazing to me how much melody you can get out of a saw.
Yeah, it's quite a beautiful voice, actually. It's kind of like a violin. It's almost like the human voice. You can get a vibrato out of it just by shaking a little bit, and the range is quite high. It's very haunting sound.
Oh.
And it's quite amazing to watch the entire audience just go like that.
Yeah.
When they hear the saw playing, it's just automatic attention getter.
Yeah,
It's
very
great.
much so.
Steals the show for a minute.
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
Unbelievable. What does it mean to you to be part of this show?
I love being part of this show. It really got me in touch with the BC heritage. I love the reaction that you get from the crowd. You have people crying and laughing, and they get chills from it. And it's a nice simple show. No pyrotechnics, no violence or acrobatics. It's wonderful to watch, and you can see it 3 or 4 times and get something different from it every time.
Go to the website on the screen if you want more information about the play. Now, if you want more information about what's coming up on our arts and entertainment show, The Scene, you're going to have to watch this. Of course, The Scene, our arts and entertainment show, is on every Thursday night. Watch and be awed of all the arts and entertainment that happens. And on Vancouver Island, like the show that's coming up, I'm just blown away at all the sort of unique things that makes this show amazing. What do you love the most about this show?
I think I love most about it is being with my friends and playing music. It really was a collaborative thing. Everybody came together to create the music, and we really are kind of a family up there, and I think that really kind of feeds into the show as well. People kind of sense that we like what we're doing and we're having fun, and it makes them have fun.
Wow. And the music is not only, sort of toe-topping and fun, but it's so cool, all the different instruments that are being used.
Yeah, we really asked ourselves kind of what kind of sounds would you hear in a lumber camp, and what kind of music would they be hearing back then, and then try to incorporate kind of the natural sounds that they would be hearing into the music itself. So we have choker bells and saws and things that are kind of woven into the music itself to make it sound like it's in a logging camp.
We have to take a quick break, but stay with us because when we come back this week on The Breakdown, we have Brian and Robin from 107.3 Cool Mornings on with Dan and Suchetta. It is so funny. Be prepared to laugh till you might pee. Just saying. To the sounds of good timber. It is an extraordinary, touching show that everybody has to come see. It's Friday night, the Father's Day weekend at the Edward Milne Theatre. It's also Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. No, there's no show on Father's Day. So buy your tickets for Dad and all the dads you know, and come out and see it, and you will have just a much more memorable Father's Day weekend. I promise you. Sauk Museum is a good place to get tickets, but you can also go online and find out other ways you can get them. It is a show that will absolutely resonate with you if you live here in British Columbia, and it's also a show that I think you'll never forget. I want to thank all of you so much. It's been fun hanging out with you, and I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, ideas, thoughts, feedback, you know where to find us. Twitter, Facebook, email tell us. If you see us around town, say hello and tell us how great we are. We love affirmation. We're slightly insecure. Thanks for watching.